I would like to basically say that, you know, we are in a very interesting phase. And Indians are always lucky. And they are lucky this time too. We are always getting the best of the technology to use. We are always at the cutting edge of the adoption. And then that's the beauty. But you know, technology has its own merits and demerits. It moves at a lightning speed. Today, what is relevant, tomorrow in technology, it may not be relevant. Brands get built and they get vanished very quickly. So that lightning speed of technology, whether it's the generation of the technology or it is the adoption of the technology, puts an onus on us who are in the ecosystem, whether we are regulators, whether we are business guys, whether we are consumers, to ensure that we have an ecosystem which is supported by policies which also moves at lightning speed. And if that doesn't happen, unfortunately, we will always have a gap between what is basically a consumer is looking for and what we will be able to give because of the constraint we have in the ecosystem. I would like to basically assess it from outside in. Yeah, just try to see yourself as a consumer. We are all have become restless. We can't wait. We need now. That's the kind of consumer we have become. We have spoiled. We are spoiled for choices. If you don't give me, I will look outside. I will look outside beyond 7 seas. That's how people are behaving today. And it's not an urban phenomenon. It's moving into the interiors of India. Smartphones have revolutionized the way we consume things. Okay? And that's the tool which is the future which we need to worry about and take care of. Policies have to be there to ensure that things are moving in the right direction. Technology can make chaos, but policies will ensure that technology is on the right track. Similarly, policies have to catch up with technology because they cannot sit and say, oh, we have a speed at which we work. Because consumer is saying, please give me what I need. Whether it's a car, whether it's a needle, whether it's e-pharmacy. 40 million people currently are buying things online. Next year it is going to be 100 million. And at that rate, probably you can understand where it's going. Consumer doesn't want to go out. He wants to buy it where he is. Okay? Now, in that scenario, if we are not thinking of enabling policies or getting policies enabled, I think we are not doing justice as citizen of India. The beauty is that people are coming up with new ideas. It's a world of startups and oldies like us also getting into the startup. But it is very, very important that we together enable policy and IT enables policy. I think Mr. Sudarshan said one thing. We are strong in pharmaceutical industry, probably one of the world leaders, and we are the world leaders in IT. And this deadly combination is sitting here in India. And we as an ecosystem has to leverage that. Okay? Today, if you see the healthcare industry, there are 3 kind of challenges. I'm very new to this space, so I normally take the public domain inputs to basically build my thought process. The challenges which we are facing today is basically high cost of healthcare services. The challenges which we are facing today is lack of specialized talent. The challenge which we are facing today is how we can reach out to the interiors of India. And we all know that technology is the answer. We know the kind of quality of products available in the interiors of India. Why can't we use technology? Just because somebody didn't envision that technology like online will happen 100 years down the line, it doesn't mean that there is some issue with that particular channel. I think what we need to do is enable that channel and encourage those players who are basically have the intent to get compliant with the policies. Don't basically kill the channel. Channel is important. All the channel will exist. Just because internet came, television has not died down in India. Newspaper are still having a lot of ads every day in your newspaper. It shows how strong they are still in this India. India is a very different country. We cannot compare India with other countries and take the example. We need to know the nuances of each country before we take a call as an entrepreneur or the policymaker. Okay? And in that scenario, when we are saying that hundreds of millions of people in India are going to buy online, we decided that probably there is a big opportunity for us to get into this space, which is at this point in time very mature but highly inefficient. Technology is the only answer. Technology can track how things are moving. There is a record. You can backtrack it. You can track it to the end point where it started. And that's where we have to go to. Hospitals, clinics, doctors can all be benefited by this technology. Telemedicine, great tool, which will basically can address the shortage of our talent in our country. Technology, great tool to reach out. Every nook and corner. Yes, then somebody will say there is no light in the rural India. How you will make the internet work for them? Yes, we have to figure out a solution for that. But don't kill technology. Technology has to be the enabler. We should look for that. And what we are doing is that as a company who is too young, we basically said that, okay, let's get compliant and see how we can get compliant to a DNC Act which was written in 1940. And we are happy that we have come out with a business model and the technology which will help us to get compliant with 1940 DNC Act. And we are very sure that when we will launch our platform very soon, both the regulators and the ecosystem as well as the consumer will benefit from this platform when it reaches out to millions of Indians, and we will be able to provide them genuine medicines. And I think that is the best service we as an ecosystem can deliver to the patients who are suffering from ailments and chronic diseases. Also, we have basically on the verge of tying up with one of the biggest conglomerate to reach out to rural India. I think if that execution and the dream comes true, I think PMHLC will be doing a great service to the ecosystem. That's what I would like to close with. I will basically, when my term comes again, probably I will talk about PMHLC. Thank you.
Thanks, Hemant. You know, the money, the pharma, the technology, everything needs one thing: human resources. We have Dr. S.G. Gupta, who is the president of IHMR University. Would like to hear from you, sir, is like, what are the policy changes you would like, or if you would like changes in the education system which can be able to get the resources that these people need? Over to you.
Thank you very much for inviting me in this summit. I've been in medical education and training since 1968, more than 45 years now. We were very proud of our education, how we were trained. But we also lament so much today that how medical education has gone, which is responsible for producing the providers of healthcare. And I think let's look at the things from two lenses. Medical education as such, how it's doing, and what digitization can help it improve, and what policy frameworks we should need to make or enable medical education using digital technology to improve education systems. I think it's not unknown to us what is the current scenario in medical education. We have now around 400 plus medical colleges. Many more are going to be there. There is no policy that how these should come up. And there are, of course, set norms from the Medical Council of India that who is eligible and what are the requirements to set up a medical college. But how does it work? It's not unknown to us. People go on setting up medical colleges without resources, and a very important resource is faculty. So today the crisis is what we are producing in the medical colleges. They are short of faculty. Their educational content is outdated. Their technology of teaching is outdated. And moreover, what is happening is the students are not interested. I tell you, I am not exaggerating the things. The classes are empty. Why these classes are empty? Probably the students' expectations are very different. They would not like to come to class to listen to boring lectures and seeing the faculty reading out the PowerPoint, which is the only digital technology today's faculty use. So what they are showing is also taken off from some site, and the student is very, very intelligent. He opens his own smartphone or brings his laptop and looks at what my teacher is teaching is already there on the net. Why I should come onto the class? That's one part of the story. So what I would say that medical education need to improve, because this is necessary, because we are producing providers of healthcare, and which is so important for strengthening health systems, whether this is public sector or private sector. So we need to think on policy that enables faculty development, that enables, Dr. Sudarshan Jain was saying a few minutes back, they did access study. And what is not available is the medical doctor. 50% of the government facilities are vacant. You don't see doctors over there, despite the fact government has appointed doctors over there. Why are they not going? Should then the patient be, should they suffer if the doctor is not coming? What are the technologies, how we can provide them care then? E-pharmacy is one. The other ways of telemedicine or this digital kiosks, low-level people can really put algorithms and find out the ailment and then provide treatment over there through e-pharmacy. There are many things that can be done at the delivery level. But what to do with the medical education itself, which is responsible for producing people who are quite, aware of what is required. So I believe that the three things which are very important in medical education, which requires policy reforms, is reforming medical education itself, and reforming agency that is responsible for making legislations and regulations for medical education. I mean to say Medical Council of India. So there are three things that I see. There are faculty, there are students, and there are classrooms. Classrooms are totally outdated. Nobody is using digital technology or any other technology except giving lectures on the mic. Faculty is not prepared. They are never trained how to teach. What is teaching pedagogy? They don't know. They are hired and they directly come to the classroom and they don't know what to teach. And third is there's a student. The modern day students are very, very intelligent people. They can understand very quickly whether the teacher is updated on the subject or not. They will catch you in the class that you are not teaching right and pointing out that this is not right. So what I am trying to say, this is the story of medical education in brief. So we need reforms in faculty development, faculty hiring, their training in teaching, pedagogy, and then updating the infrastructure in medical colleges is very, very important. The time has changed, the technology has tremendously moved up, and we need to update medical schools. They should bring in digital technology to teach. There's so many now. I tell you, we at IIHMR brought digital technology long back. Our whole campus is Wi-Fi, our library is automated, you can access information anywhere. The teaching material is available on the websites. The students can access information because they need information 24/7. They are so inquisitive about learning. Now comes the policy. So we have to go for approval from the All India Council of Technical Education, and there is a requirement that there should be a desktop computer between two students. So we have a large student body, so in our institute there are 400 computers sitting, and we made that every student has laptop or iPad, and we supplied that. And when the inspection team comes, they say, why don't you have desktops? We need 400 desktops. No, we have given iPads and laptops to every student, and this is Wi-Fi. They can read and study anywhere on the campus. While they're chatting with their girlfriend, still they can study anywhere. No. This is against the rules. This is not in the policy. We need to have the desktop on the table. Now that is a kind of environment. So we are looking for some enabling policy environment that this medical education becomes appropriate and updated and keeps pace with the development all over the world. And tomorrow's world I see is maybe there are no students in the classroom. There will be all digital technology, and what you should do then in the classroom is do problem solving with the student. Do some participatory learning. Satisfy their inquiries in the classroom rather than doing one-to-one lecture or didactic lectures. Give them material online. This is where digital technology can help. So the students can study themselves and use classroom situation in problem solving, participatory learning, finding out solutions and decisions for the problems. All that could be done over there rather than wasting time in didactic lectures. So technology is very important, but one of the major barriers is policy. I tell you, our university started online programs, full-fledged online programs. And one day I get a letter from the government. This is against the policy and rules. No one can do this in India, online teaching. So my colleagues offloaded the program from the web. Still it is dumped. We spent so much of money in technology, so much money in developing content, and then regularly maintaining the contact with the students who had registered. I think there are policy changes which are needed. Then and then this digital technology, which is already available, can be absorbed in the medical education system today. And definitely, the students will be benefited with this. The classrooms should be, used for learning, for practice, for problem solving, for decision making, art of decision making, and likewise. I think we are only two doctors over here. We have the best pedagogy to teach and to learn. All our learning is bedside learning. Unless you touch a patient, you don't learn what this is. You can't have a feel. I think we have forgotten that kind of learning now in today's medical education. So this enabling environment and a policy framework to move into the digital world is very, very important in medical education.
Thanks, Dr. Gupta. I think now I will put to Vikram first. He represents Cellular Operator Association of India, and we just crossed 1 billion cell phones connections in the country. So everything we hear is converging to mHealth. Now, what is COI doing and what is it expecting from the government? You work very closely with policymakers in less than 5 minutes, because I'm seeing that tag that lady out there is showing us. We don't have 15 minutes, but we do have to hear your views and Sanjeev's.
I know, so I'm noticing that the doctors are getting the eminence and we engineers are getting left behind. So notwithstanding that, I'll try and be as crisp and to the point. So the good news is that this year we are celebrating 20 years of mobile telephony in India. And it is this underlying network or the all-pervasive network which covers the country, which has enabled much of whatever has been spoken. So what is it in terms of policy that you need to scale up? See, the good part of IT is you can do a pilot, have it successful, and rapidly scale up. Now, this rapid scaling up will require that this network today, whatever is the network, what the government today is calling highways or information highways, needs to rapidly move up. Some of the things that we look for in policy terms is that unlike most developed countries which you tend to look at, where the attention of the medical